legislation. It is important for us to continue to appraise and discuss on our role in our democracy, because the role of our legislative arm of government cannot be effective without assessing your role as well. Because I believe that, we have said it many a times, that the most difficult arm or the most misunderstood arm of government is the legislature. Not only here in Nigeria, I had the opportunity a month ago to be in Ghana, and I was a guest speaker at their program. And I was sitting down there, and for a moment I thought maybe I was back home. The same issues were again being debated there about, there were phone-in questions, and people were asking, what is the role of the parliament? And we were debating issues like, should members of parliament be attending to people in their communities that wanted school fees, wanted medical, the same issues kept on coming up. And there again, the media were being engaged that they have a role to play in educating the public. So I think more than any other arm of government, it is legislature that really needs the media more than in any other part of the two arms of government. That is the truth. Because one, as we say, under military rule, there's always been executive, there's always been judiciary. It's only under democratic settings that we have a legislative arm of government. And I think over the years, people still do not fully grasp, because you see, as people still ask, are there any relevance? Some time ago, I think people were even pushing the agenda, should there even be two chambers, should it exist? And the only way the public can be educated is not, we can try, but really those who can make it possible are those of you who are before me this afternoon. And that is why I commend those who are continuing to organize this kind of retreat. Because truly, I believe that it might be underestimated, the role you play, or you will play, or you continue to play in the stability and the strengthening of our democracy is very underestimated. And I believe that opportunities like today gives us a time for us to discuss and for me to have opportunity to share my views. I think I'm better enlightened. I think if I'd spoken in 2015, I'll be speaking without experience in having the opportunity to preside over the Senate. But I haven't presided over the Senate for almost 3 years, and I think I can say that, well, I wouldn't say I'm a guru, but I think I am better informed to be able to share some of my views on the issues that are important. The topic you have brought today, which is strengthening executive-legislative relations. I have a speech here, but I'm going to digress from the speech. I know that doing that, I'm also taking some risks, but I'll prefer to take those risks because I think I'm surrounded by friends. The ones that should not go beyond this room, try your best. The one that you think should go beyond this room, also try your best. I leave you to do what you think is good for the system. But I think it's important for me to share some of these thoughts because the topic is very, very important for us. And I think that in doing that, we need to be frank and we need to be honest. Not for me. And I say that with all sincerity and all humility. We have, what, maximum another 1 year, maybe as an opportunity to preside over the Senate. But if we truly want to strengthen our democracy, I totally believe, and more so now, with my own experience, we must strengthen the legislative arm of government. At all levels. I'm not talking just at the federal level, I'm even talking at the state level. I was a governor for 8 years. Luckily for me, maybe probably because of my own political thinking, my own political understanding, I was able to have a very good relationship with my state assembly. But I think also having the opportunity now to be on the other side, I can even speak out more strongly to those who are sitting as state governors that it is very important that the legislative and the executive are on the same side, and the legislative must be strengthened. I compare the legislative arm of government. I will use an example. I think it's like, well, maybe because also of my background in the banking sector, is that in every banking sector you have an audit unit, an audit department that has a responsibility, even in companies, they have the responsibility to ensure that the company follows the right process, the company ensures that right accounting. Because if you look at our responsibilities apart from making laws, is that largely oversight. And what is oversight? Oversight is to ensure that either the budget or processes that are in place are properly done. Now, the moment, even in an industry, in a bank, you discredit that audit firm, or you weaken that audit firm, either by ensuring that they don't have enough money or they cannot perform. Like I experienced an industry, if you look at any bank that is strong, its audit firm is strong, its audit arm is strong. So the moment you weaken that arm of government, or that arm that has that responsibility, definitely you weaken the democracy. This is the fact. Forget whether it's Saraki, the Senate President, or it's Mark, or whoever tomorrow. If we want to strengthen our democracy, the priority of everybody is to strengthen the legislative arm of government at all tiers of government. That is fundamental. And that is something I think we all have to accept. And those of you who are here, who are continuous, because the press corps of the Senate will continue to be here as long as we have a democracy, then the agenda must be, how do we strengthen the legislative arm of government? How do we defend it ferociously? Because if we don't, there is no way that our democracy can be strengthened. Because government is not built on individual. It is built on institution. And unless we also move away from that psyche, that is not about individual. It must be about, that is why in developed countries, government can change. In countries like Japan, government changes so quickly. But it does not affect the stability of their democracy because their institutions are strong. But unfortunately, in our own environment, where efforts are done, which you see, I see, those are open, those are behind the scenes, or where there's attack in weakening the institution, we must, and those of you particularly, must come to the rescue of that institution, which is the legislative arm of government. We've decided to run a presidential system by its nature of checks and balances. There's bound to be friction. That's by its design. It's just like if you design a system. As I go back again to the issue of an audit unit in an organization, the inspectorate of any, whether it's an oil company or of a bank, cannot be too cozy with the management that is in charge of the purse of that company. The moment they become too cozy, then definitely there is a problem. And that is the presidential system that we operate. So by that nature, definitely there is bound to be friction. The question now is, how healthy is that friction? Where is the general agenda of that friction? And I believe that these are the level type of education that we need, and advocacy that we need to put out there to the people of Nigeria. But most of our people really don't understand and appreciate that. The way it is seen is that Parliament, legislation is obstructing the executive arm of government, even in the attempt of when you're trying to do what is your job. And I believe that that misunderstanding, that misconception falls on your lap to play that role in playing that level of education. This has not started, this is not start now, right back to 1999. We've seen it even in the time of the former president to now. But I think it's something that we really need to now take on head on if we truly want to strengthen this democracy. There are many examples that I can give. And I'll start with the one of the budget, which I see was really the focus of the guest lecturer, talking about the budget and the budget process. If you take 2018, for example, even before people had bothered to find out where is the cause of the delay, you had already seen that who were being attacked and blamed for it, it was the legislative arm of government. When I led the leadership with the Speaker to Mr. President's address, his line of thoughts, he came into the meeting being briefed as if the delay was that of the National Assembly. And he was humble enough and honorable enough to be able to say at the end of the discussion, oh, I must render my apology because I got the impression that this delay was being caused by the National Assembly. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are those who are our voices out there to be able to let the public, even before that time, know that those delays were not. You even saw people doing banners saying that National Assembly, Nigerians can no longer wait, or we are holding the country to ransom. It is not based on the facts. So, that's another example of where you talk about the budget process. The budget process, for as long as it is not engagement, collaboration, it will continue to have this kind of problem. You can run it many times, change the individuals, change the speaker, change the Senate president, bring in new people, new party, for as long as it's not based on a foundation of engagement, collaboration. What do I mean by that? Again, I'll go back to the example I will use. Maybe I'll go back to the banking industry, where you have a company and there are two signatories. They say A signatory and B signatory. The two must sign before the check will go. If A signs, if A is the senior one, if B doesn't sign, the check is going nowhere. So there needs to be collaboration. Now, when a budget comes, and the MDAs have done it without any level of engagement or discussions with committees, then what means is that by the time it gets to the committees, it's like a document they've never seen. So it's as if the whole process, whether you like it or not, kind of starts all over again. And we have said many a times, when ministries and MDs are preparing budgets, nothing stops you as a minister or MD to engage the committee, because eventually you are coming before that committee. You are. And that is why constructive engagement, right from the top, right down from the president down, is key in ensuring that budget goes through a shorter period of time. Because by the time this document is not new to any of the committee heads or committees, the process cannot take that long. Because if you look at it, no matter how much you do it, you cannot do that project in anything less than 4 months if you continue with this lack of engagement that we see. But if a lot of work is done before the laying of the budget, you can come out of that place even in less than a month or 2 months. Because by the time they come for defense, what they are defending is something that both of you pretty much put up together. But this is not what exists currently. And for as long as we don't do it that way, the senior ladies and gentlemen, it will continue to happen. And so you ask yourself, so what is the answer? The answer is engagement and collaboration. Executive and legislature are partners in government. They are not competing. And for as long as you don't understand that, then we are not being fair to the system. Or for as long as you think the best way to do is to rubbish one arm of government in the public eye, where will you see collaboration? How will you see collaboration? Even amongst us as Senate and you as media corps, can we collaborate if any opportunity I get I am attacking you or trying to discredit you. How is it possible? I can't do without you. You can't do without me. The Constitution doesn't allow you to do it alone. You must come with me. So as long as you have to come with me, you must collaborate and discuss. What I'm saying here today, in the year 2018, it will go down. You will take note that until we change that approach, there's no individual that will ever bring about any improvement unless that individual will change his approach of collaboration. And I think that it is a responsibility, or where you can help, is to begin to let the public understand why this is the only way to work. Because without that, it's not going to. Even if the leadership, by the time the matters goes down to committees, the committees that you all know will want to also exercise their own powers as chairman of those committees. And that's why sometimes our leadership, we cannot deliver on some of these issues where we do promise, but then the chairman, the committee members will tell you, oh, this is my constitutional right for me to be able to review this budget and being allowed to do those things. So on the area of budget, this is a good example. I believe that if we have dialogue, we have collaboration, we'll be able to reduce the time frame and some of these things will be able to pass easier. And dialogue and cooperation also means to be part of whatever the vision or the plan is of the executive arm of government. But to produce a document and assume that tinkering with it is an affront, or tinkering with it is not really what it's about, then there would be problems. And it can only get worse. And I'll tell you why it only gets worse. Because as our democracy strengthens, the caliber of people you're going to have coming to parliament is also going to change. Because you're going to have people who have capacity, who have experience, who are independent, who are strong-minded. And you're going to see that 10 years, 20 years down the line, parliament is going to continue to get stronger as any democracy gets stronger. And so, if you think now that parliament is standing on separation of powers, 10 years, 20 years down the line, they will be standing even more on separation of powers. And that is what you see in developed democracies. The caliber of people in parliament are people who are very independent, are people who stand and they will stand for what they believe in. So in that kind of environment, it's even more challenging. And that is why the only way through it is really through collaboration and working together. The other areas that a lot of we see and we talk about is also has to do, which we have said many a times, on the issue of confirmations. I keep on asking to check the records of confirmations. And last time, to my knowledge, we had about 240 nominees that have come before the Senate. Of the 240, the Senate has confirmed 227. So we have rejected 13. By my mathematics, roughly, I think that must be something like 5%. If I've confirmed 95%, I think I will not be wrong to say that there is collaboration. If I have rejected 5%, by the powers in the Constitution, we are exercising those powers. And I think that again needs to be appreciated and respected, because that is the system that we are operating. It does not mean because those rejections are meant that the National Assembly is now not working with the executive. As I said, the foundation of the democratic process that we are operating brings those checks and balances. So it means that sometimes you will say yes, and then sometimes you will say no. But when I say no, when the institution says no, it is not war, it is not a fight, it is just that is how we strengthen this democracy. But unfortunately, taking positions, why? Because they feel they were not consulted. So these are the kind of things that, and in the process of that, it makes the eventual goal of what you're trying to achieve more difficult, not impossible. So I come back to what inclusiveness, collaboration is key. Without those issues, because those issues are fundamental in a presidential system. And that is why even under a president, a former president that was in the ruling party, the National Assembly was in the ruling party, there were issues. That was one party in time of PDP. Even now in the APC, you will still say there's still a problem. So it is not, it's clear that it's not just about one particular person or the other. It's the way we are operating that relationship. And the need for that needs to be addressed and have a rethink about it. But I think that can be driven by a better understanding by the public. Because if the public have a better understanding, then the legislative arm of government will have better support and will be encouraged to be able to do what we need to do. But in an environment where you see someone in the executive standing up and saying that the other arm, his partner, because we are the partner of the executive, somebody gets up and says his partner is a thief, is a looter, is a... How? It's not possible. Let's be realistic. How? So, when you collaborate, you are collaborating for the bigger picture, which is the country that we all serve. And that is why, to me, strengthening that relationship is a very, very important responsibility that we must all have. It is not about, as I said, about somebody making points or trying to gain a few points over the other. We must think of the country, and we must make whatever sacrifice that is done in order to do that. And that is why at times when we have the responsibility, sometimes you see when we have things that need to pass, we, as much as possible, suspend our rules, bend backwards, because we know the urgency in those issues. But there are some times when we are challenged. Government wants to raise a 4.6 trillion bond. And the leadership first time hears about it, there a letter. These are the kind of these. You see, we must be honest with ourselves. So the challenge is now on leadership, us going around now, and people ask you, Mr. President, we are not, what is it for? But those kind of things should have happened way behind. And that is what happens in developed countries that we're emulating, that we want to copy. So distinguished my members, my colleagues, my friends, I felt it was important to be here. I felt that I will have this opportunity to be able to speak from the heart of what, not just for me for today, because I know prosperity will join me to say that what I'm saying today, go and write it down and go and note it down. If we do not change, we'll continue to have this problem. Can we change? Yes, we can change. Who can make us change? It is you. Because it is only you that, or likely you, that have that role, because you are best equipped, you understand the system more than anybody else. And if we don't have the public on our side on this, because the public, whether we like it or not, yes, we're in a democracy, but I think mentally for the public, we're still in the military, because they still don't see that role. We call it democracy, but mentally, we're still not there yet. And until the public is there, I don't think this problem will ever go away. And until that problem goes away, our democracy is not going to be strong. Whether it is Saraki or Dogara, or whether it is even Cosmos that one day will be Speaker of the House of Representatives, or whoever it is, with all your support, if we do not change this mindset, I do not believe that we'll be able to make any progress. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for this great opportunity, and I wish you a very good opportunity. Thank you so much.